Welcome back. I'm in Green Street in East London, where dazzling designer KOHLI recently opened her flagship store. She's internationally renowned for her Asian-inspired clothing, and she's dressed stars and celebrities from around the world. So she can give me some fashion tips too. Mani, have you always had a passion for design? Has it always been something that you were interested in, even when you were young?
Oh yes, from I think the tender age of 7, 8 years old. Always had this this whole ambition and desire to dress my dolls up. So I used to tear up clothes and whatever I could get hold of in paper pattern and dress my dolls up. And then when I got to the age of 10, 11, I had to watch these films. And I have to say, in my case, I was influenced by Zeenat Aman and Parveen Babi, the Bollywoods, who had just changed, and the rebels in the Bollywood industry at the time. Whatever they wore, I had to wear it.
But when you first came to England, what was the fashion scene like then, particularly for the sort of young Asian people who started coming into the country?
Surely, I must say, England was very deprived of the Asian fashion when I came in, and this is now in 1976, and it was sad, because people, when I had to socialize or whenever I saw for what they were wearing, they were trying to confuse maybe their identity. So they were trying to be a bit of Indian, a bit of the English. And I would see a shawl, I'd see a sari with a coat, but it would look so... It just wouldn't fit in the...
Were they trying to integrate? They weren't trying to be...
I guess they were, because it was a psychological impact, and they had to have the fashion statement to let people know, at least among their own community, that, hey, you know, we've come from India, so look at me, I look nice. But it didn't look nice, because it was never worn the way I think Asian clothes, because they are... You can really show off a lot of heritage in there. There's so much of glamour attached to that.
It's so different now, because Asia is a big influence in fashion.
It's a platform for any woman to proclaim she's beautiful, she's here, and she's here to stay and look sexy at the same time.
So what about ideas from around the world? Because I know you're a very keen traveller.
Yes, I do think every country, every region has so much to offer, whether it's culturally or in clothes and environment. It has to be absorbed. And I, being a very keen observer of my environment, will definitely infuse those ideas into my clothes. I love showing off where I've been.
Look, show me some of your outfits, because I know, for example, you get a lot of brides here, and I know that you also get a lot of older women, interestingly, who want to look very glamorous all of a sudden. I guess they're the ones with the money.
Yes, I think I agree with that, Julie. Today, I mean, as opposed to the olden times when mothers had to stitch clothes for their daughters and make them look good, the girls today, because it's more of a couture fashion now, you have the women who come in and want to look glamorous, irrespective of the age, because now I think the 40s are 30s and the 50s are 40s. So you're looking at these very trendy women who really want to make a mark where they move into any place. And yes, I'm here to dress them up, to make them look good.
Is that a change, though? Because these sort of older Asian women didn't used to be that interested in fashion, and now suddenly...
I think they missed up a lot earlier when they came to UK in doing a lot of economic stability, because they had come here to make money, to settle down. Now they've done all that. They've raised the children, given them the education they need. They have now turned their attention to making themselves look good.
So, Mani, this is an example of some of your bridal wear, and these are absolutely exquisite.
Aren't they?
How long does it take to do something like this?
A bridal outfit takes anything from 10 to, I'd say, 16 weeks to prepare.
And this has got stones and crystals.
It's got crystals.
In fact, I know I've tried to lift one of these off, and it weighs a ton.
It does, yes. Yes.
So the brides have to be quite strong to wear these.
Not really, no, because it sits very well on the waistline, and it's nicely equally distributed weight on the whole piece. So I have never known a bride to complain. She will wear what she wants to.
I was going to say, she wouldn't complain to wear one of these. It's not hard to see why they would appeal to Europeans and people from the West, because a lot of them have a sort of very modern touch as well.
Yeah, other than being traditional in the form of embroidery, I have moved away from tradition, given modern cuts to the pieces. So we do blend in this very, you know, very, how should I say, emphasize your body figure, silhouettes.
You're so successful and so hardworking, you stores here and in America. How much of it do you put down to the fact that you've had to overcome quite a few obstacles, haven't you? Mother, divorcee, you've had a few bumps in the road to get here.
Not a few, quite a few, surely. I mean, it's not easy for someone at a tender age of 18 to become a wife, and then 19 to be a mother, and then to find a few years later that your marriage is certainly not what you had dreamt of, far from it, and then to have all kind of adverse situations where you have low finances, low esteem of yourself, and then you want to go out there because you have the intelligence, the capability, you recognize them, you want the world to know. Perseverance, perseverance, perseverance. It's a never-ending job. You can start 30 years it's taken me to get here.
So Mani, what are you going to do now? What's your next project?
Ideally, I would like to go back to India.
Back in the homeland?
Back in the homeland, repackaged with my fusion look for what my signature is, and show it back to the Indians how to do it.
I bet they'd love it.
I hope so. I hope so.
The fantastic Mani KOHLI there. She's got some fabulous clothes, which I've got to try on, and I got a trip around East London, which is fantastic. Well, let's switch from fashion to music now. And while there's been a few incredibly popular Muslim men in the music world, like Sami Yusuf, for example, Muslim women are a different story. Well, as ever, Everywoman has found the exception that proves the rule. I'm delighted to be joined in the studio by the girls from hip-hop group Poetic Pilgrimage, SUKINA and MUNEERA, who set up the group 5 years ago. Let's take a quick look at them in action now.
Hip-hop obviously don't feel we're in a different league. My only dream is to revive the music and bring it back to its former glory. Bring hip-hop back to its former glory. Listen, yeah.
That's a very energetic performance there, girls. Welcome to the studio. Good to have you here. SUKINA, tell me, how did you meet? How did you get together and how did you form the band?
We became friends like in our late teens, and I think one of the things that bonded us was music. Like, we were really into music, like hip-hop, and just music that was like different than what was out, you know, in the charts and stuff. So we kind of, our relationship, I don't know, I think it formed through our passion for music, and we kind of just realized that there was a void in the contemporary music, in a sense that there wasn't much music with like a good message, or, you know.
'Cause you have quite a serious message, don't you? I mean, you sing about Hurricane Katrina, about Sudan, about Islam. I mean, where do you get your inspiration from for your songs?
It sounds so cliche, I know. Sometimes, you know, you must ask artists, and they must say the same thing, but really from life experiences and just things that we see in the news on a day-to-day basis, growing up, things that we've seen around us, just our everyday environment, like inspires us just to write about what's happening. And what a lot of people who don't really get to voice or express what they're going through, we look at their situation and try to voice it for them.
And the fact that you both converted to Islam because you weren't Muslims, I mean, you formed the group first and then you converted. Why did you want to do that?
I mean, our group's always been called Poetic Pilgrimage, and I think the pilgrimage, it suggests like we're searching for God, or we're on a journey to somewhere, and I think we were, but Islam was like the last possible thing that we were looking for.
What made you change your mind then?
I think it was, well, I was reading the autobiography of Malcolm X. It was Munira's copy. I was doing it for university, and then I was just reading it, and it just started to have an effect on me. It was ridiculous, and I was like, we were housemates at the time, and I was like, Munira, what's wrong with me? I'm starting to feel these nice feelings about Islam. And when he went on Hajj, and I think it was a pilgrimage, and I think because we'd always been called Poetic Pilgrimage, the pilgrimage, I don't know, it kind of drew me in.
And you girls, you converted just before the 7/7 bombings here in London, which obviously had a catastrophic effect. Have you found that as young Muslim women, attitudes have changed towards you?
Yeah, I mean, because it was just 2 weeks before the 7/7 bombings, I don't know if it's changed because I am Muslim or because we are Muslim, or if it was always like that, but I know we have certainly experienced a lot of things being Muslim and being female. I think for a lot of people, you know, because the hijab is such an obvious thing, it's like you know, a lot of people turn their anger or their frustration towards Muslim women in general. You know, I'm not going to say everybody's horrible, but we have had some experiences where people's called us names, people are like suspect of us, and just, you know, things which make me feel uncomfortable slightly. But
do you put that into your music? I mean, is that one of the things that sort of comes into your work.
I think so. I mean, we've done a poetry piece called Conflict Resolution, where we were kind of commissioned to write a piece about being British Muslim, and we were like, I've got nothing good to write about right now. We had to flip a coin to see who would write the good bit, like the positive aspect, and who would write the negative. And in my piece, I do speak about the fact that, like, you know, I've been egged before, you know, had like an arson attack on my house before, you know. I think it makes us who we are, so it has to be included in our art.
What do your families think about this? What do the Muslim community think about this? Because it's quite unusual for Muslim women to be doing this kind of music business.
Yeah, it's families. I mean, maybe Muneera can tell you about her family situation. My family are okay. In regards to the Muslim community, we have, it's quite diverse. I think it's probably 50-50. We have some young people that are very happy about it and they really love what we do, and you know, they just are very supportive. And then you have some that say that we're going to hell, that we're leading people to hell. Yeah, that, you know, what we're doing is completely an innovation in Islam and it should not happen. And
but you're quite strong women. I imagine that you don't let it bother you.
Once you have your faith, no one could change you, or no one could change your mind or sway you. And I think, you know, a lot of Muslims may say, oh, what they're doing is wrong, this, that and the other, but it brings us closer to Islam and it brings us closer to our God. So that could only be a positive in my eyes. And plus, a lot of younger people as well, they love their religion. And when they hear people singing about their religion or rapping about their religion, it makes them feel proud. So it could only be a positive. It should only be a positive, I feel.
yeah.
Well, I think you're a great inspiration, and I think you sound fantastic. So thank you very much indeed for coming and talking to us here on Everywoman, SUKINA and Muneera. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
And that's it from us for this week. Just time to say, if you have any comments, do email us at everywoman@aljazeera.net. But right now, bye-bye from me, and let's hear from SUKINA and Muneera.
Listen, yeah. A new dawn is approaching. I blow a kiss to winds blowing, invoking the name of Allah. Before I start roaming, desperately seeking something. Clothing garments flowing, memorizing sacred hymns, now my soul's glowing. I write these hip-hop poems in praise of the all-knowing, singing hip-hop hymns whilst growing golden wings, soaring while searching for the